All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwarash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, if you are who may be listening. It's your brother Vitaka Law from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. And Lord willing, it's an edifying lesson. All right, as of late, you know, as you know, things, passions have been high. Things have been going on in Iran and in the land of Israel. And they're currently in a situation as far as a war with one another or a small skirmish, whatever you want to call it. But supposedly they said they did a ceasefire, and then in typical Edomite fashion, after they agreed to it, those imposters over there in the land of Israel decided to attack Iran after the agreement was made. And it's just par for the course with this devil, man. Every treaty that these devils have ever made with anybody, they violated, even the ones they make with one another. All right. But we're gonna get some precepts, Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. All right, this is Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. All right, so these devils are experts at playing pretend and pretending to humble down and pretending to want to be your friend so that they can catch you while you're not paying attention and while you take your defenses down, and they can strike and attack you. And that's what those devils did to them Iranians. All right. But, you know, people are already hip to the fact that this is how this devil operates. So, you know, none of these nations, even though they will say on the news, oh, it's a ceasefire this or a ceasefire that, none of these other nations are going to ever drop their guard around those devils, because they know that ultimately them devils want to get all them Arabs out of that area. And I think Iranians are Elamites, whatever they are. They trying to get everybody that's not an Edomite up out of there, man. And they want to take over that whole area. So saying that they have a ceasefire is not, don't really matter, because their end goal is to get rid of Iran, period. Because Iran is not going to stop um, producing weapons, the nuclear weapons, to defend themselves from these devils. So since they're not going to stop doing that, it's never going to be an agreement that they're going to come to, which means that none of these ceasefires are actually going to be real, man. All right. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 2:11, because this is the mentality of this devil, man. All right, let me see if I want to rule up. Nah, we just gonna get to the point. This is the mentality of this devil, and this is what they do to you, Jakes. This is what they do to everybody. All right, but it says, Wisdom of Solomon 2:11. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. All right, so these devils, they can come up with agreements. They can make agreements all they want. They can make laws up all they want. That shit is all for show. These devils they have the power to renege and change the rules, move the goalposts, whatever you want to call it, and that's all they ever do, man. They use these laws, so-called laws, and these so-called treaties and agreements to put other groups of people in a comfortable mind state, and then these devils attack and do what they always intended to do. All right, and their mentality is, hey man, we the strongest people on the block. Can't none of you people do nothing to us. So, if we don't want to change, if we don't want to acknowledge the deal, we don't have to. All right, it's like it reminds me of in the Empire Strikes Back, when and it's actually a heavy metaphor, but Lando Calrissian, the character played by Billy D. Williams, he made a deal with Darth Vader to turn over certain individuals to their authority, and he made a deal to protect himself and to protect his little settlement that he was in charge of. And the whole movie, throughout the movie, Darth Vader is reneging on shit in the deal, changing the parameters and the stipulations of the deal. And Lando Calrissian, who was played by Billy D. Williams, calls him out on it in the movie. And that nigga Darth Vader told him, "I'm about to change my mind. Pray I don't change my mind any further." And that's the mentality of this devil, man. You're not in a position of power to threaten them, then they're gonna abuse their strength and they're gonna do whatever they want to do. And you just gotta pray that they don't go as far as they want to go with it, man. All right. But none of these nations are going for that shit no more. That's why Iran refuses to stop producing the weapons that they producing, and I don't blame them. Shit, they need to hurry up. We can get the fuck out of here. All right, but we still got the MOTB and other things, that need to happen. MOTB, World War III, etc. But we getting close to that time, man, and it ain't gonna be no deals. These devils not gonna be able to make a deal their way out of this shit, man. Because none of these other nations are willing to make deals with them no more, because they know that they don't hold up they end of the bargain, and they know that these devils just want to catch you with your pants down. All right, now we're going to get this account that's going to back that up. This is in First Maccabees 16 and 11. It says, "Moreover, in the plain of Jericho was Ptolemaeus, son of Ababus, made captain, and he had abundance of silver and gold, for he was the high priest's son-in-law. Wherefore his heart being lifted up, he thought to get the country to himself, and thereupon consulted deceitfully against Simon and his sons to destroy them." All right, so this Edomite married Simon's daughter, so he's got a close position with Simon, and this is in the time of the Maccabees. All right, so Simon is the high priest at this particular time. And as soon as this devil gets close enough, he starts to want to conspire on how he gonna get Simon and his sons out of there, so that then he can be in control. Because Jake was following Simon at this time, and this devil wants to find a way to get himself in power, and for him to be the one in charge. So what does he do? Let's keep reading. All right, it says, "Now Simon was visiting the cities that were in the country and taking care for the good ordering of them, at which time he came down himself to Jericho with his sons, Mattathias and Judas, in the 100 threescore and 17 year, and in the 11th month called Sabbat, where the son of Ababis, receiving them deceitfully into a little hold called Docus, which he had built, made them a great banquet, howbeit he had hid men there." All right, so he invites them to his house. He throws a fake party for them, but the whole time they having the banquet and having the party, he's got a whole bunch of men hiding, waiting to come and kill Jake. All right, this is the next verse. "So when Simon and his sons had drunk largely, Ptolemy and his men rose up and took their weapons and came upon Simon into the banqueting place and slew him and his two sons and certain of his servants. All right, in which doing he committed a great treachery and recompensed evil for good." All right, so that's what these devils do, man. They want to find a way to catch you in a position where you can't defend yourself, and then they want to jump on you with full force and get you out of there. All right, and that's what this devil Ptolemy did. And hey man, things aforetime are written for our learning. These things are taken into account and put in the scripture so that we can understand the way that this devil operates, so that we don't make no deals with him, man. And these other nations, they understand that this is how this devil operates. Whether they have seeked out the scriptures or not, all you got to do is look at secular history and see how these devils operate and how they have been operating forever, man. All treaties they made with Gad, null and void. You know, treaties that they made with one another, null and void. Treaties that they made with other groups in other parts of the world, null and void. They do what they want to do, especially when they know that they're dealing with somebody that can't do nothing to them. All right, and if it is somebody that's mighty, they're just gonna set you up and get you in a position like they did with Simon, and let you get drunk, and then they gonna do what they want to do then. All right, but they running out of road with this bullshit, man. It's not they not just gonna keep going to the same move over and over again, and people gonna fall for it. The Lord is putting a different spirit on these people in the Middle East, these Arabs, these Iranians. You know, the Lord is about to have a spirit of war in the earth. It ain't gonna be no they're not gonna be willing to make peace and make deals with these devils no more, man. This is Sirach 14:5. It says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods." All right, so these devils don't even treat their own people with respect. They don't even treat their own people with honor and dignity. They don't even hold their deals and bargains and treaties up with their own. So what makes you think that these other nations are going to even go for that? All right, for the most part, the only reason that other nations was even willing to deal and make deals with these devils is because they didn't have the power to defend themselves, so they had to do it. But now that these nations all got nukes and all got the ways to feel like they can protect themselves, they not trying to hear that shit no more, man. They trying to get these devils back for what they've been doing, and they're gonna get their chance to take their pound of flesh off this devil during World War III. And hey, these devils gonna be catching hell on all sides in the kingdom too, not just from Jake. They're gonna have to deal with these other heathens taking out their angers on them because of the deceit and the treachery, man. All right. But with that being said, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Wagwath who may be listening. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. And until next